G'day, welcome to This Is Riffin'. Today we're going to look at Better Living Through Chemistry by Queens of the Stone Age. Another favourite of mine by early Queens for sure. It's pretty straightforward. I thought I'd mix it up as well by showing you the really sweet bass line that Nick does as well, just for the sake of it, because it's so awesome. And as always, just please note that these videos are never 100% correct. They're more just a guide for you, especially when it comes to the tab on the screen. I just chunk it together so it comes across a little easier to understand. So the notational values or the rhythm are definitely not correct there. And just please excuse the poor sound quality and video quality. I know it's quite horrendous, and I'll hopefully get onto that in time. And I'm just playing through my old faithful Fender Jag today. That's plugged into my Fender Champion 100 solid, and I've just got an overdrive setting to my liking, so no pedals or anything. I've actually whipped down the tone, so I've turned that off, and I'm in the middle toggle switch, just because I feel like the sound's a bit more like Josh's tone. So to play this ripper track, you'll just have to tune your guitar to C standard tuning, which goes like this: C, F, A sharp, D sharp, G, and C. But I'll probably just refer to standard tuning being E, A, D, G, B, and E. I just thought I'd show you what Josh does live with this song occasionally, where he extends the intro, and it just sounds awesome. So it's very similar to the actual album, but it's an open on the A and then a 7 on the D. Where you're going to be bending that 7 as well at the end. That's got a really similar feel to the actual main riff, so I'll focus on that coming up. But yeah, whip it in there if you feel like it. I'm never going to play that just like the Grandmaster himself, but the ending was a little scrappy there. Josh always plays by feel, which I always talk about. So he's whipping in extra notes here and there. That's the idea of it though. So I'll just talk you through what I'm doing, and then when he starts singing as well, it's a little different, so I'll take you through that as well. Just following the tab there, you'll be pretty safe. One thing to note is the open A, it rings out the whole time, so try not to cut it off. So let it ring out. Also, I'm just using my first and second finger mostly for this. And then another thing to note is when you go to 15, 14, and 11, it mostly plays them twice before doing the open A. So it has that sort of feel as well. I'll just sort of play through it slowly for you and then give some little tips along the way if they come up. So 15, 14, 11, 10, 9, 7, 15, 14, 11. There's 2 10s there, 12, and then there's a little slide to 14 that he whips in there. So that's just 12 to 14 as a slide, straight back to the 11. Similar move there where it's a 9 to 10 as a slide. where he'll add in the 12 on the G. So it's 11 on the D, 12 on the G with your second finger. And then I hear where he goes to 9 on the G and a 10 on the D. And you can hear that live as well. He does that. He sort of gives that more emphasis on the live stuff. So yeah, that's a 10 on the D with my second finger, 9 on the G with my first. And then he'll go back to the 12 on the D with a 12 on the G. So yeah, I'll just play that last little tail bit. So Josh has got his own cool little groove on that. Before kickstarting back around. And every time that little tail sort of changes just that little bit. But if you use those notes there, you'll be all good. When Josh starts singing, it's all pretty much the same, except he whips in an extra slide and he goes to an 11 when he'd normally go down to the 7, just like we did in the first one. So without confusing the hell out of you, I'll just play through it slowly and then explain along the way. So there was a 9 to 10 slide. Right here he goes to 11, where the first time before the singing, he went to 7 there. So that's one of the bigger differences, I suppose, where he goes to 11 instead. 15, 14. And for the tail, you can just muck around again with those sort of cool chord shapes. So I hope that makes sense. Nick's bass line's just so awesome in this, so I thought I'd put it up as well, just for the sake of it. Obviously it's on bass, so I've transcribed it for guitar. There might be a few of you out there interested in it, so yeah, I won't spend too much time on it, but just follow the tabs and you should be all sweet. So it's something like that. I just love how every section is just a little bit different at the end. It's not the same the second time around at the end of the song when they revisit this verse type section. But anyway, it's wicked nonetheless. And this is what it roughly sounds like when you play both together. then get this cool little bit where it's an open on the A the whole time, and then you'll be just again dancing around the D string. So it's 7 on the D. I'm mainly using my first finger here. Yeah, use whichever ones you please there. And then you'll go to 5, back to 7, and then here I think it's a slide to 9. So 7 to 9, back to 7, 5, 4, 5. So you've got two options here. You could do the slide. To 9. Or you could also just do straight strumming as well. Rather than getting the slide in there. So it's up to you there. And then the tail end of it, once you've done that 7 times, goes 7, 5, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, open on the A. And you just let that ring out with a lot of feedback as well to come. Also on some of the live stuff, I think Troy does a cool harmony here. Something like this. And then if you put them together, it will sound something like this. So around 2:14, after all the feedback, it kicks back in with either 2 opens on the A or 4 opens. Either way, you can't go wrong. It sounds like there might only just be 2, which sounds more punchier. But you do 4 opens if you want, and then it's 10 on the D. And it's always in 4s, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go open again on the A, 9 on the D. Open, 9. Open on the A, 12 on the D. Open on the A, 14 on the D. So you're just alternating between the A and the D string there, using the notes 10, 9, 12, and 14. You'll play through that 4 times, except on the tail end of the 4th time, when you get to 14, you'll just stay on it and play it 12 times. Instead of doing the opens. Like that. It's also just worth noting that when you do these open A's, you got to cut them off, unlike the intro or the verse riff. So the little trick I do, if you don't know, is when I play the fret 10, your first finger sort of snugs up against the A string. So when you slam on, it will actually cut off the A from ringing. So I'm still holding 10, but blocking the A at the same time. Or else it would sound like this, which you don't want for this bit. You sort of want it to cut through better. And that's for all the bits. So yeah, little trick you can try there if you don't know about it. Sick little lick here that Josh does. And I'm going to give you a couple of options because you're definitely hearing these notes. Josh is whipping in some opens between each one. But if you wanted to play along and you're struggling doing the opens, you could just hit those fretted notes if you wanted. So I'll give you what I think Josh is doing. So it's open 10, 12 on the A. I'm using my first and third finger there. Now you could use your second, which Josh likes to do that move a lot. So yeah, up to you. So open 10, 12 on the A, and then the same thing on the D. Open 10, 12. And then you go open 12, 14 on So still same fingers. Then it's an open on the D, 12, 14 on the G, open on the G, then a 15, 17 on the B string. So yeah, he's chucking in those opens really quickly. Again, if you wanted to play it fast, struggling with that, just get those notes in there. It's a cool exercise just to practice in general. Just to get some speed up. You could do hammer-ons as well if you wanted. Just to get the speed up. It doesn't have the same feel, but yeah. Could work for you. Just there, Josh does a little solo before it fades out. So it's something like that. The end of it fades out quite quickly. So that's sort of what he does. So this will be 14 on the G with some bends, which you'll play 9 times. So you can sort of start bending it up and then dropping it back down whenever you want. I'm just getting my mates behind me on the G there to help bend it. I like using my third because then you can go to 12 on the G. That move there is 12, 14, then back to 14 on the D. So 12, 14 on the G. I just sort of roll my finger up to 14. Back to 12 on the G, 14 on the D, 12, 12, back to the bends on the 14. Then you go to 11, 12 on the G here, which I use my first and second for. Back to 11. And then eventually, I think there's a bend at 15 before it really fades out. So that's going on there before it fades back into the main solo. I don't consider myself much of a solo player, so that was my attempt at what Josh does on the album there. It's an awesome little piece to play. It's very fiddly. He's always changing it live as well, so you don't have to play it exactly the same every time. I'll just slowly play through it, giving you little tips along the way as usual. Try and use your first and second finger a lot for this. I found that the most easiest to play it. Now this bit here is really cool. It's 14 on the G, down to 13 on the B. And so he's dancing around those notes, and this is where your fingers can get really a bit tied up, getting it in the correct order. But if you're playing those sort of notes, you can't go wrong. And every time it's a little bit different. And then you'll get to a bit where it does actually repeat the same thing. So at bar 303, it goes 13, 14. So I'll just keep going from there. You get this move. First and second finger. It sounds awesome on repeat. I was doing a bit of alternate picking throughout it. So yeah, once you've done that a few times, you'll eventually get to 15 as a bend. So you can sort of bend it as many times as you want and start bringing it down. I had to jump to my pinky there for that bit, for the bends. Finishes with that little cool bit. And then eventually it's just 14 as a bend on the G, up and down. You do that 3 times and then eventually bend it up with a slide. You then lead back into this lick. And then there's a cool ending for it. With an open to let it ring. So that's a 14 slide on the D, down. 4 opens on the A, I think. Then a 14, 17 on the D. Little vibrato if you want. And you can let the open A ring out. 14 again as a slide. 14 to 17 on the D. And then the third time it's actually a 12 slide on the D. Back to 14, 17 on the D. And then an open A. So yeah, that's cool. You'll then just kick back into this riff. Eventually finishing with that, and then it's another round of the intro riff again. That time, it's pretty similar to the first time and second time again, so just refer back to that tab there. And then to finish the song, you'll just pretty much do that chorus riff again 7 times. Eventually with the tail end, and then back to that chorus riff for 4 times. And then an open A to take it out. Well, I hope that helps you out with this awesome song. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment below and I'll catch you soon. Bye.